table, which is nice because that champion is very strong. We are going to get a Vi lock-in. This leads me to think that maybe, just maybe, if LNG don't pick it, we could see a Xiaohu Ari, which would be a breath of fresh air.
Maybe another mover for Xiaohu. Instead, it's going to be a Lulu. We'll see if it ends up being the Yunara or the Zeri or something else that Zhao picked up. Yeah. Yeah, it could be Cog. But Milio's off the table, so I think onto that. Down a hair is Cog. Lulu still an answer in a Lucian Milio that it's giving LCK teams a hard time. That is like one of the picks that's really funny to see G2 played at such a high level. And then it's like gone over to LCK. And every time I see Cog Lulu played in Lucian Milio, it just ends up winning. Like, oh, they still haven't figured it out. It's like kind of a funny chuckle I get whenever I see that. Because it's been a few Cog mods pulled out. And some lessons taken internationally back to even the region that people model the play off of the most.
Well, it's Rakan, it's Xayah, so that takeaway means that Xiaohu is going to have some opportunities to get on top of 1xN, so we'll have to see what the option is going to be there. Obviously, the Zeri gives you ability to hop over the wall. If I'm LNG, I am really locking in on these last couple of picks. You do not want to go winless in an entire split. Again, you have to sit with that the entire offseason and know that your next opportunity to win a match is maybe a long ways away, which I personally think really sucks.
I wonder what your thoughts on EDG are then, Yanni. As
well, they still have opportunities.
They do.
In fact, they have 3 opportunities. I think they have a good shot against Thundertalk. I don't know if they'll do it, but they have a good shot. I think they could beat either of the last 2 teams because I believe it's JDG and Team WE, which are teams that, you know, have played high highs and low lows at times.
I think
they have chances.
I think they lose the next 4 series that they're in, which includes the playoff best of 5. So
I don't disagree with that, but I just think the possibility is there.
Yeah, they do indeed.
Listen, LNG has a 50-50 chance right now, and EDG probably has a little bit lower than a 50-50 chance. Either you win or you don't.
But the important thing is that they have a few more opportunities than just one more time, which is the scenario that we're in for LNG Weibo. As hitting the riff one more time. Vayne and Jace taken out of the pool.
Do you know all the lyrics to that Daft Punk song? That's crazy.
Gnar is still available. As Vayne Jace fans tell me we could see Gnar coming in for LNG. Curious to see if Zika decides to take that one out of the pool now.
And if they don't, you know, we saw in the highlight package that we had way at the top of the show, hey, Sheer can make some plays on that Gnar. I did have the Jarvan to help him out, but I think that the Silas ban is very prudent from Weibo Gaming. A lot of really solid ultimates to take out of the first 2, and I'm sure would only get better.
I just appreciated how you called a In Memoriam a highlight package from the pre-show there.
I mean, it is. There were all highlights.
In Memoriam was a highlight package for Yanni. They were highlights, but isn't In Memoriam a highlight?
Is an In Memoriam not a when you have an actual In Memoriam, is it actually not just like a highlight package of somebody's life?
It's a celebration of life.
Yeah, it's a highlight reel. It's just a highlight reel.
I would use my poor English skills to call it a celebration of life.
Yeah, I mean, I did not roll up to my grandmother's funeral and was like, look at her highlight reel. But I did roll up and say this was an awesome celebration of life.
He rolled up to the funeral like it was a party. Hey, you know what? That's all right. If you're going to go out and you want the people around you to have a party, I think that's one of the best ways to go out. I think it's one of the best ways to go out is to have the people still around throw a party for you. But the last party we have for both these teams before they head out, drafts wrapped up. Aurora mid, Gnar top, like we predicted. Aurora is a self-counter pick, but gives you a way to play out of Vi, Rakan, and now this Varus top, as we saw 2 of the counters to Gnar thrown out. Varus a 3rd. I think that Varus is very attackable when it comes to the rest of the comp, but does have a good lane matchup against Gnar, and we've seen some of the disgusting things that Varus can do. Champion has had some pretty serious changes that I think is actually... They say that they didn't want the poke build as much, and I feel like in a weird way indexed it more towards top lane, which I don't love. Varus is a very strong identity kit in the game when you have an R like he does and a Q like he does. Just having that kind of ultimate that's AoE CC over time, and then having an ability that gives you that much range on top of Blight, giving you disgusting percent health damage, is a really strong champion.
Everybody forgets that the W passive just actually giving you more damage on your auto attacks too. That really feels like the most important one. That's how you win a lot of your level 1 trades. So
surprised that they lost to the Vietnamese team? Yes. Am I also surprised they lost to the Vietnamese team? No. But am I surprised that the big takeaway from the community was like, get Cream help, or Cream was the best performer from that team in tournament. A bit, yeah. No, pleasantly. Because of the play that we've seen from him so far, but yes, because I feel like one of the barriers that existed in his career was actually good international performances. And in his team's historically bad international performance, Cream had a good one, which is weird.
It's always nice to see. You know, whenever the LPL has some strong individual performers internationally, it's always nice, even though things may have not gone top esports way. We're back to the game here as LNG versus Weibo Gaming. We'll do it one more time. LNG trying to find their first series win of Split 3. If they do so, does this mean that Weibo Gaming is worse than LNG, Cubby? Go.
No. We're going to call it an aberration.
Man, no love for LNG, huh? You really hate these guys, huh?
It's either that, or we just blame it on the Relegator.
I mean, maybe. I mean, both of these teams.
That's pretty good. I just put you in a logical bind that you were not ready for, Yanni.
No, I wasn't. I'm actually just absolutely stun locked. It resolves. I have no counter. Do you think they're going to bring back Group Perseverance for Split 1 of 2027? Because I think that...
I really hope no.
I
think that group system was terrible.
Yeah, I didn't like that very much. I think that if you just split the two groups, it's a little bit better. Like I said earlier in the broadcast, I think that we could just go back to one big super group again.
Hold on.
Well,
Varus doesn't like Cedar Jungler Wave 3.
Well, unless it's his own. But Zika is going to flash the wall here. Whoa, okay, 1xN. Picking up the kill onto Moham here. Good start.
The Relegator taken down early on as 1xN finds the kill. Lulu into Rakan is a positive interaction. I just think the Xayah Rakan's being taken because I do like what I've seen from a few teams, specifically NIP. They've been playing Xayah Rakan with WeiWei and ganking it Wave 3. Oh,
this is just awesome. This was just a really sick bait.
It was a sick bait. All right, well played. You know what? We'll give that one over to 1xN. I think Moham should know a little bit better. Like your W on Lulu, how I'd coach that one afterwards. That W on Lulu has absolutely zero value, Yanni. And given how Lulu's posturing, would you logically think that the enemy AD is looking to base after 3 waves where he can get Cole?
Are you trying to quiz me on my support skills?
Yes and no.
Because the answer is yes.
Okay, yeah. So, can you kill Lulu with that W?
Well, I mean, if 1xN already recalled and Elk is able to step up, like maybe.
Yeah, but like you actually can't. Like you might get a summoner spell, but no. And you know that like 1xN might be looking to recall, but also look for the recall, or in that case, the wave's so big you might want to let it happen. I don't think that W means anything, and it was a one-way tripper.
See, this is why we need you in more VOD review.
Good luck with that.
Well, we're not allowed to play Enchanters anyway, but we are allowed to play Rakan. I think that I don't know if I'm looking for that one. What we'll leave it at here is LNG have this lead down to the bottom lane here as Moham once again wants to go in, and they're getting damage on the YCX, but that's about it.
I think from Weibo's perspective, hoping that Zika and Xiaohu can scale up. Do prefer Varus and Victor against their counterparts later on, and it's a really positive matchup for Xiaohu again as self-counterpart.
There we go. So right after 1xN, YCX had to use his flash to try to save him and was unable to do so. So great look from the Weibo Gaming bot lane.
Spotted off a ward. Good call from Moham and Elk. Ghost popped, enables Rakan to piggyback in. And they find 1xN who flashed for the first kill. That's a bigger kill on the back half, so good play by Elk and Moham.
Always good when you can get ahead down to that bottom side, especially when you're up against a late game scaler like Zeri. Although the interesting part about Zeri is that her laning phase can still be a little potent at times. So if you're able to wrestle a lead back, especially after yielding a kill, you're in really good shape. Right now, Xiaohu is not disrupted, and 1xN has been disrupted on the other side. So I think that's the biggest thing. If you can disrupt the opponent's late game scaler, you're in a good spot. If you can't, well, it's going to be really hard to win games. as Xiaohu is pushing out Nya with that Arcane Storm.
I know this matchup for Xayah Zeri, opportunity for spacing from Xayah and kind of zone control, just leaving the feathers behind. Zeri is at a range disadvantage if you can keep on walking backwards as Xayah. The goal is that Zeri has to either E into you to set up for your E, or just has to find a way to close that range advantage, whether that's her or the team. So opportunity there for Xayah, but definitely one where as Zeri gets up on your face, she's so bursty and Lulu can really help with that. And this duo later on outscales what Rakan and Xayah can do just in a tank, because Enchantress value from Lulu is so high. So see if Moham's engages can be sound with the Vi throughout, as they're going for level 6 grab, kind of a flip.
Yeah, we look for YCX, can't find him. Moham is able to get out. Nya down to about half HP, a little bit lower as these lasers are starting to come in. Who's going to secure the crab? The polymorph is there. They go in on Xiaohu, but he hit level 6 first, and they're going to immediately blow up Nya. They do get a trade kill back, and now Moham is the one who's being targeted, but the health bars on LNG are not so high. Moham on a sliver. YCX picks him up. Will WeiWei look for more? Elk has a lot of feathers, a lot of autos, but not enough to close out on kills. Ends up being a 2-for-1 for LNG.
LNG up 1. Xiaohu, of course, did get the crab, as kind of a quite the fight that both of our teams signed up there for, Yanni. I was not expecting to see a big portion of the game flipped over the crab spawn, as this isn't NA.
A little surprised by that as well. You know, a little bit of crabber in there. I think some junglers in the lower echelons of the LPL maybe taking notes from NA, which I'm not sure if that's the place to take notes from. But at least Blabber has historically been a pretty good jungler.
Actually, one fun part about Blabber, he watches a lot of League of Legends. I know folks used to ask him about...
man.
Well, no, like I know folks used to like ask him like tier 2, like the Arabic League, and like he knew what who junglers were and what they were doing.
Okay, that's impressive.
I really respect that. Yeah, that guy watches
that's ball knowledge.
A lot of League.
Well, YCX is immediately rooted. Yeah, you can't do that into Rakan Xayah, as Elk is now 3-0.
Oh, the best performer for Weibo Gaming throughout their season. It might come to an end today, but appropriate to see Elk getting big in this one, and we'll see what Elk can do on a Rakan that Elk has always been very good at, one that was always good for BLG, partly because of On's Rakan, but the Xayah for Elk was one where I really felt like if he was left to his own devices with BLG, just kind of allowed for the whole team to dive and create chaos, and Elk thrived in that scenario. Him being up 3-0, see if his team can create some chaos around him. See if the Xayah Rakan can be big. Good find there by Moham, as Grub's going to be taken, and Vi going to be making her way down. So maybe we get a Grub for Dragon trade here from WeiWei and Xiaohu.
Big take for LNG there, just taking it away from Waybo, really. The power that the Spheris can have early on can really pin you under turret. You already see the CS lead that Zika has put together, but if he had 3 Grubs, I'm sure it would be a hell of a lot worse. You were right about that objective trade just going down. Good polymorph by YCX that time. You get it in early, you're able to survive the Blade Caller, and that won't come through, and you'll be able to not die to the very strong Xayah with a BF sword.
All right, not too surprising. We're seeing the early trades. Vi Drake power is always very big. Do want to see, though, Xiaohu just continue to focus his bot side. I know that Zeri and Lulu both have ults up, but we'll see if Xiaohu and Moham can work together. Whether it's playing into the bot lane or playing mid. As do think Aurora has ways to cheat out of that Vi Rakan combo that's very tough to play out of, but giving Xiaohu any reprieve mid, Victor just wins that matchup harder over time. So I like the game state right now for Waybo, and I really feel like this is one where they drafted scaling solo lanes that also win their lane, and that's really tough to deal with if you are not able to break that early on. So while WeiWei got involved in that bot early fight, hasn't been able to get involved top or mid, and we do see a small lead for Xiaohu and a rather big lead for Zika, who, of course, the one time we saw WeiWei go up there, it was after 3 camps to burn a level 3 flash that was not returned to and punished. And Zika's up 3 waves of creeps.
All I'm going to say, Cubby, is the last time you liked the game state for Weibo Gaming, they lost.
All right. A little bit of meme potential behind that.
Yeah.
How dare you go after my ginormous ego at that, Yanni, you know, that we referenced earlier.
And this time around, I couldn't agree more. This is exactly where you want to be. Would like to see Xiaohu get a little bit more active, but it is a little bit hard, especially with your mid laner being Victor. You don't really get that same pressure out of a Vi Victor that you do out of some other picks, but it would be nice to see him link up with Zika at some point or head back bottom, as you already mentioned a couple moments ago. We do have 3 minutes before the next objective is up. We do know that here in the LPL, teams are willing to fight over almost anything, but it does feel like this could be a bit more of a measured game out of LNG, perhaps feeling the pressure on trying to win their first game, their first series, I should say, of Split 3, the last opportunity.
They've already doubled up their game wins. You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
CLG Faith.
Oh boy! Wow, that's a throwback.
For folks unfamiliar, NACL 2021 spring, we had 16 teams in the league. The only time we had that many teams, as the requirement was dissipated for summer. Third team is CLG. CLG Faith, they went 0-30 in the regular season. But you know what? They got a playoff match. You know what they did in that playoff match? They won the first game, and then they lost.
And the faithful shall be rewarded. You were rewarded with a game 1 win.
Is this a playoff match? No. But is this a doubling versus just adding a game to the win column? You didn't have all... I mean, that's big.
Uh-oh. Whoa. 1xN in a bit of a weird spot. He does manage to escape, but it will require both summoners, and now LNG are looking for a bit of a turnaround here. But Xiaohu will retreat to the safety of his turret. So, good summoners burnt there. We'll see if Waybo revisit. Oh, still his ultimate.
I feel like I messed up my history there because CLG Faith actually went 1-29, not 0-30. So they did double the regular season wins.
No? Well, 1xN is the target. 1xN is very dead. It's Xiaohu who does none of the work and takes all of the credit.
Like that, though. Feeding Victor some stats and some gold. Or stacks, I should say.
Objectively good.
Oh, objectively very good for Xiaohu. 1 minute before Dragon, likely to see some resets come in, and expect Waybo to be able to control this one as well.
And a lot of those ultimate abilities should be back, and you know, remember we said they didn't have to use any summoners for that. They got summoners out of 1xN, so you know he's going to be the target in this next fight. Turret going down. Elk has built up a 2.2 thousand gold lead. He's got a bit of a shutdown. This is what you expect after the first Zeri kill went so well, and the second attempt went so bad. This is 2 items at 13 minutes.
See if it's enough to at least ensure that this next dragon does go the way of Waybo. Bot lane of Waybo making their way mid, and Yanni, so far, if it's the last outing for Waybo, they've at least played a pretty sound early game here.
Yeah, I'm really liking it. I think it's been pretty solid so far. You know, obviously Zika had that little oopsie earlier where he had to flash over the wall, but they weren't able to turn around and punish that. They are going to maybe try to dive him here. Moham is going to come through to try to protect as Xiaohu will take that dragon. LNG solo laners will begin to work on the top of tier 1 while Xiaohu continues to push unabated in a side lane. Just hanging out and having a great time. If your Victor gets to do this, you are loving life.
Yeah, I think that... Oh, hold on.
1xN dropped that ultimate down. Gets Elk to half HP, but with Xiaohu there, LNG cannot continue as WeiWei desperately trying to fight for ward control, but is unable to get it.
Yeah, this is relatively fine. Like, yeah, I mean, they didn't even pick up that top outer turret, actually. I lied. I thought with 3 grubs and yeah, up there, they would. Not the case, and Victor gets a bunch of free time. I will cash that in. And Elk has been undeterred mid. Zerial was used last wave, and Elk took 2 plates this wave. As they showed mid did not matter. Going to be Rift Herald probably taken on time here by Xiaohu. And this draft for Weibo Gaming, again, like, for me, they drafted a bit of a winning bot lane / jungle matchup. And scaling solo lanes where I feel like they win their matchup and outscale. And we're seeing a little bit right now how oppressive that is, because Xiaohu and Zika were rather undeterred farming. It took 4 to push Zika off the wave. gave Xiaohu free time, and they took both neutrals. And now WeiWei eat into that.
Hey, I don't know if you want to be here. Crescent Guard is going to be used. He does get rooted down and will die as Xiaohu picks up the kill. Couple of more charms coming out as a teleport from Zika is going to come through. He's got that ultimate in the back pocket with his flash, but Elk and Xiaohu are taking the portals. Sheer is dead. YCX is also dead. It is all Waybo all the time here in Game 3. 16 minutes in, a 5,000 gold lead, and all 1XN can do is get a turret back in return.
XM might be chased to the end of the earth, too, here. Herald drop mid, that's going to ensure the outer. Port will help. Vi to follow. Has cease and assist if they want it. Instead, just going to try to cut them off into mid.
Couple more plates coming down here with that Herald crash as Weibo Gaming continue to increase their lead. Their Victor is 3-0. Their AD carry is 1v1ing the support, but Elk has found himself in trouble. He drops the ultimate down, but does not have the Blade Caller to save himself. He does get shut down.
Yeah, that was a bit bold from Elk. On the bright side, they TP'd mid, so it took 5, and Xiaohu got a 16-minute and 30-second wave all the way into the inhibitor turret. So that's good news, as, well, once WeiWei eased into this camp, that is his demise. I don't really know why he eat into that camp, but he did. And Xiaohu gets the kill against the jungler, who was his teammate in 2024 when they made World Finals.
Sometimes you have to just ignore friendships when you're in the dregs of Nirvana, scratching and clawing to either win your first series or be the team that doesn't allow another team to win their first series.
Yeah, scratching and clawing for all the stakes we have behind this one.
You throw all the friendships out the window. You know, maybe we could have had a vignette for this series with the players. You know, this means so much to us.
You're throwing friendships out the window. And you're telling them if you're not first, you're last. It's about competition.
I think that at least one of these teams is last no matter what.
I would really like to think that after that kill, Xiaohu just like all chat WeiWei, if you're not first, you're last.
That would have been diabolical, dude.
Oh,
in Group Nirvana, a 0-5 versus 1-4, man.
That'd be so good.
That's APA level of shit talking right there.
That would go big on the Twitter sphere. It would.
It would go big. It would be so big, it would go big on Twitter as well as Weibo. Heck, maybe it'd even reach Inven.
Sometimes you just have to throw the aura out there. I mean, how many times have you seen teams win or lose just based on aura diff? I feel like that's been like half of how I can describe the history of Fnatic G2.
Yeah, you know what?
Aura diff was like usually G2's favor, you know?
You might be onto something there. I wasn't with it at first. I was like, I don't know, but yeah. I mean, the aura that G2 just exudes. I mean, even now, right? It's what we have as G2 in playoffs over in Europe, right? I mean, this team can just suck it up in the regular season, but they make it to playoffs and that aura shows up there. You know, that is the perfect example. What team here has that sort of aura in the LPL?
Monkey.
Is it just BLG?
No, it's just Monkey. I mean, no one has the aura that G2 has, but Monkey is my answer for having the most aura. Probably Monkey or Bin, but Bin's aura is taking a severe hit, which sometimes happens when you put yourself out there, and it kind of does deserve to take a little bit of a hit based on
sometimes happens when you don't play.
Yeah.
I think not playing is the biggest aura loss of all, unless you're the shot.
No, the shot, the biggest aura gain is playing and feeding.
The shot is just aura. He is just aura incarnate.
He just gain aura.
As Weibo Gaming has started up this dragon, looking for their assault point potentially. A lot of damage coming through the Crescent Guard for WeiWei. He manages to find his way onto Elk, but Elk will flash over the wall on the other side of the fight. It's the other AD carry, Zika getting the job done. Sheer about to go Mega. WeiWei kind of split with the rest of his team. Sheer does go Mega. Xiaohu going to look for another opportunity to go in, but the smite is secured by WeiWei. So Weibo Gaming, they win the fight, but they lose the objective. They are still looking for more though, Cubby. Turnaround, flash, right onto Zika. They take him out. Moham maybe targeted next as Elk is coming back around with half HP. But LNG will find their way out after picking up one more.
All right, soul point prevented. Gold in favor of Waybo though, as they picked up more from that fight. And Elk and Moham played that out quite well. I really like the flash out from Elk and how he stuck around in multiple instances. Just keeping the fact that Moham has that extended range on the battle dance with Desire Rakan combo. Take a second look. I think the interrupt on Moham was a little bold from WeiWei, just because Moham wasn't channeling to go in yet. And then 1xN goes in a little early, as Moham wasn't able to shut him down, but did shut down Nya before Nya could use the combo to get out. And LNG was chased by Xiaohu afterwards. Elk and Moham in the back half winning out. Good rip by Elk. Able to kite out WeiWei. Didn't even take the blast going over. Saved it to try and get over the wall and take the dragon, which he did. But a good fight from Waybo.
You know, Cubby, we've been bagging on, you know, both of these teams a lot because this is the toilet bowl. And we did say that this may be the last time we see both of these teams. But there is an outside chance that Waybo does still make regional finals.
Can I say one really nice thing about LNG? Hold on.
Yeah, absolutely. Let her rip.
Their logo reminds me of Kingzone Dragon X.
It does.
But it also authentically is one of my favorite logos in all of esports. I love the LNG awesome. Dragon. I think it's so cool. It's so cool.
It's the Quillen, right? As far as I know.
It's so... I just think their logo is so badass.
It is pretty dope.
And as a marketing major...
was half as badass.
As a marketing major that was talking about logos, and especially at the tier 2 level, and had some beef. A lot of bad logos in esports. That one still has a lot.
1xN gets pulled in. Nice ultimate there by YCX. Keep him alive for the moment. WeiWei gonna look for the turnaround here as Moham is absorbing a lot of damage down to half HP. Knocked up and taken down as Weibo Gaming all of a sudden have to run for the hills. LNG down 5,000 gold, but still fighting for all they're worth.
1xN was able to create enough space to actually E over the wall. It wasn't enough to get all the way through and drag the Vi, but did get him close enough to his team. As... Okay. Was this a solo kill? It's Varus, so yeah. Well, that's unfortunate. Good play by Zika to find that, so... Doesn't end up being a win. It's actually a win for Waybo, who got the kill on a higher value target, got a TP out, and got more gold in the Varus' pockets.
I did say that Nya was my player to watch this game, and unfortunately has not been able to do a whole lot. When you die to Varus and you only get him to half HP as a burst mage, not exactly what you want to see coming.
It's like more of the lab rat bunny than the free roam bunny.
What? That's horrifying.
It is. That's where we're at right now, Yanni.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. You know, no resolve, so I have no response.
That was locked down. It was not able to free roam.
No, not at all. I mean, I don't know. Rat bunny. Oh man, come on. That's tough. That's almost as bad as the one time that we were talking about a Cassiopeia, and I think I was chatting with JWei about it. I mentioned the only snake that he liked was a dead snake.
Oh no.
I think that was JWei. I should really
probably was.
Try to remember that before I put JWei out there like that. Sorry, brother.
No, I feel like it's appropriate. I feel like JWei would welcome that. Meanwhile, Waybo welcoming a Baron start.
Yeah, exactly. LNG looking to find their way in for maybe their last fight of the season. We'll see. At least the last fight where they have a hope of winning. Need the rest of the team to get there quickly. Big damage in, but Nya had gotten exhausted and will go down. But as you mentioned, that Baron steal, all for LNG. Sheer getting rooted up, able to hop over the wall about halfway to Mega. And if LNG just walking out like this, Cubby, it's another win for them, I'd say.
That is a hell of a depressing Baron. We just let WeiWei walk in, stole it, and we only walked out losing one. Fight's trying to continue. Zika Noir.
Zika's gone golden. WeiWei exhausted, but Zika does end up falling. That turns on the Moham. Hang on a second, Cubby. Oh my goodness, out! But he couldn't finish off the play. It's a triple for Zeri, but Xiaohu shuts that down. And Weibo Gaming come away with the fight win.
All right, a little bit of excitement late in the night here as Elk tried to make something happen. He goes down, but he does make it happen for his team. Fight one, no more Baron. It's going to be a negative Baron power play for LNG. And Dragon's going to be taken. I don't really know how they can keep Xin Zhao out of the fight. I think it kind of has to be Zika's job, but he's marking Nya. And then good crescent guard clears him out. Xiaohu doesn't hit the smite. The fight is good for Weibo in the back half, but honestly not good enough. It was just Elk making something happen here as he uses the rip flash, the flash rip. We'll see which order it was. I wasn't sure about this walk from Zika. He just got W'd by Zeri, ends up going down, but Elk has a lot of feathers left behind. Yeah, Alt E flash finds the combo. It is thick. I think if the auto did go down on the 1xN there, might have been able to have the clean kill if he got the crit. Not the case, but good play by Elk. Loses his life, but opens things up for the rest of his team as they take Baron off the map and off the shoulders of LNG and pick up Soul Point for themselves.
And I think that might be what may keep this game out of reach for LNG. They're certainly not out. Whenever you have a late game Zeri, you can certainly still play the game, but Xiaohu is on 3 items. He's got all 10 stacks of that Darksteel. He's got a Rabadon's death cap. He hasn't been under any threat. I mean, take a look at that damage number. 6,000 even. That is... That Nya damage at 0 is deceptive. He did do a lot of damage at the Baron, even though he was exhausted. That's not going to show up on the stat sheet for that fight. But he did certainly chunk down a couple of health bars and get a critical summoner out. But I think it's going to be very tough, but still possible for LNG, which really, when you are hunting for your only series win here in Split 3, as long as it's possible, you'll take that. As that Baron power play, as you mentioned, minus 285. Not
I really
good.
appreciate how the last 2 Baron power plays that I've seen flown have been negatives in this, because last game they flew one for Weibo, and it was like minus 300. It's appropriate. Yanni, in the effort to provide analysis in something that's greater than just this series, we are on 16 now. So the new patch, Hurricane was buffed, and 1xN has opted for 2 Hurricane builds in a row that I think are slightly alternative to the traditional builds we see on Ashe Zeri, but to fit this item in. I don't think it's as good this game, even if it's a very good item on Zeri, just because it's a really kind of... You're not stacking up the melee bolts, you know? It's a lot of range and mobility you're going up against the Zeri. But maybe points towards something in the patch, and something we'll look out for from our players is, of course, Berserker Greaves were buffed on this patch. And we did see Runans given extra move speed and extra bolt damage, which is significant.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're building Runans here for the extra 1% movement speed. But it has traditionally been a pretty good item on
in an
series,
effort to push the analysis as something greater than just this series, Yanni.
Well, hold on. You didn't let me talk about the Wind's Fury bolt damage, which is actually very relevant, especially for a Zeri, with the way your auto attacks can just deal so much damage in team fights if people are grouped up. I think extra damage that you can get on multiple targets is going to be a big help. It does mean that if you're able to chop down Xiaohu and Moham a little bit faster, you can get onto these carries, which I actually think is pretty relevant.
See if we get that for this next fight, as both monster objectives spawning going to be synced up in terms of timers, but I feel like Weibo, they've got the options as they are sitting on a soul point. Soul coming up in 90. A little bit more pressure on LNG to secure it, especially given it is a Hextech soul.
Oh, WeiWei with a nice flash there. He's going to try to get on the Zika. He flashes away. Moham stops 1xN, but it doesn't matter. They find their kill anyway. 1xN once more, and he finds more. He claims the life of Moham. It's 2 quick kills for LNG.
Stretched map there for Weibo. LNG is able to punish. They do drop top wave for it, but have a find, make a play, get 2 kills. Nice before the dragon. They should be able to base on time and can leave some wards behind to try and control the river. The response from Weibo, though, is quick, and they're going to be able to get in here and try and clear out some vision before, but looks like setup is around the dragon here. LNG too late to try and... Or they don't really have the option to rip the Baron. We'll see if Weibo wants to try and do the old bait and switch, if they're able to pull it off, but at the moment, looks like they're heading towards bot and want to control bot river, so... Maybe a fight over the soul.
WeiWei losing his flash is pretty important. We did, you know, we saw it there on the Zika.
Yeah.
It was really good, but, you know, Xiaohu and Zika, champions that can't really move very well, so losing out on the ability to flash knock them up is pretty massive. But You didn't lose anything out of your Zeri but that ghost. You still have that flash, so you are very happy with how that fight went. Here comes the teleport coming in from top laner Sheer. He is mini Gnar and has 0 in the Gnar bar right now, so he's going to need to really land some auto attacks or some Qs to stack that up, and it's starting to take shape now. Xiaohu in the back of the pit. He's going to charge up his Q, head over the walls. WeiWei followed him up. Dragon has been started up. WeiWei alone in the pit for the moment as Weibo Gaming trying to frontline. Xiaohu is going to take the portal over to the rest of his team, but will regroup as opposed to potentially looking for a flank. Might think better of it. Hops over the wall, is with the team, 3,000 HP. 1xN uses ultimate just for the attack range. Look at how low Weibo Gaming is. Sheer knocks him into the wall. Triple knockup. This might be the fight that LNG wanted. Couple of GAs getting popped, but nothing more as a flash away is done. And Wei can't flash away. 1xN though is able to help trade back along with the help of Nia. But YCX has to flash away and he's burning alive from the victor, but will survive. It is a 2-for-1 in favor of LNG, and they took the objective away, Cubby.
Close fight. Well played by WeiWei and LNG, as they are able to actually kind of buy themselves some time in this game. I still favor what Weibo is going to be able to do later, but that was well done from LNG. I really feel like Weibo, they weren't able to get an effective Vi-ult off in that fight. One of the bigger interactions, Xiaohu casted his ultimate after he came out of GA and was taken down before he went down. So let's take a second look. WeiWei able to survive a lot of damage. They end up in the standoff. I like Victor in these scenarios. The lasers do feel really good. But Sheer has a really big entrance into the fight. They like what Nya did too, using CDs to buy some space to get the smite. With Sheer coming in afterwards. And then for me, Xiaohu, you can see he hasn't cast the ult yet, but he's in GA. He flashes out and then goes back in and tries to cast it on a 1xN there, but he goes down before Cease and Assist connects, and Weibo kind of out of gas. So nice fight for LNG. I think the way that I know Nya didn't do a ton of damage, but how we used the CDs to buy space to smite the dragon away, that was well played, and a good follow-up from Sheer too.
2,500 gold lead for Weibo Gaming all of a sudden, Cubby. Is a game that was fully and well in their hands, maybe slipping away. But LNG have decided, hey, we are cool with ending the season right now as we start up the Baron. Sheer goes Mega. Still has that ultimate in the back pocket as Xiaohu goes in on him. They're going to root up Xiaohu and not do a whole lot of damage to him. So Sheer has no Gnar ultimate this time around. As Weibo Gaming are trying to attack him, but the Baron has been secured by LNG, Cubby. And they're out.
Xiaohu, why are you queuing towards that brush? Moab's trying to check it. You saw Baron at half when he got ulted into the wall. I just think, like, we saw the toggle. Baron was at half when Xiaohu got ulted into the wall. Queuing into that brush during that is so disrespectful when you saw no one pull out of the pit. You got to go into the pit and try and flip it. He queued to try and get more vision. That was kind of Moham's job, checking that brush. They just take Baron for free.
LNG, like we said moments ago, fighting for everything they're worth. And they have made this last game very exciting, Cubby. Take a look at that gold graph. It's shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. Now let's see if LNG can find their way into the driver's seat here. It just feels like if they get a little bit more impact from other roles outside of 1xN, it's their game to win.
A positive Baron power play would be an improvement for the series. I would like to see it here from LNG.
Even if it's +9? Right now it's negative, but it was just +9
the
a
last
second
two have been negative. We'll see if LNG can push things forward. They will have this Baron up to at least set up for the Dragon. Dissipates when Hextech Dragon joins the Rift. Soul point up for LNG. Weibo, of course, have Soul available. But well, let's see what 1xN can do on this Zeri and how crazy things can get late. He went Hexplate 5th. So Zeri is now at 100% crit. A little bit of scaling with the Yuntals that was buffed as well. And now we're going to have to see what Zeri can do when R is pressed. I think if these entrances into the fight are big from 1xN, might be able to overwhelm a squishier comp from Weibo, even if I still like the tools that Weibo can use. I just think that Xiaohu really needs to make sure that the execute between him, Moham, and Zika does end up on 1xN at this point, because this is a 5-item Zeri with Lulu behind. That can, it's looking kind of scary at this point for Weibo. I still feel like Weibo's the team that should be ahead, but 1xN is a threat that needs to be dealt with as Good Dash gets out of the chain of corruptions there.
50 seconds until this dragon is up. Cubby, the toilet bowl has delivered. I'm going to be quite honest with you. This last game has been very exciting.
There's been some toilet bowl moments. I fear that. Oof, I fear that was another one coming out. I still can't get over the dive from last game. Xiaohu is now on the list twice.
All right, 1XN is frontlining, exhausted, still alive. LNG getting pushed back as two of their critical members are missing some HP 20 seconds before this dragon is up.
Kind of a bold ult from 1XN, and then also bold to hit. This is Hextech Soul?
It is.
They have TPs. I guess with the ports and Baron, it's fast enough to respond, but Waybo at least has control now. And with a Chain of Corruption and Victor, I think fighting uphill for LNG is harder. Yeah,
maybe LNG likes paying a retake.
They could have stuck around and prevented Waybo from getting here, but now Waybo gets first hit.
Okay, we're going in on to Zika, who's gone golden.
There's no spike.
That's going to be it.
They gave
Soul. They gave Soul away. They get one kill. Ya on the other side between worlds, but goes down. And now we're going right after the AD carry of LNG, who falls. But look at the damage coming out from Xiaohu. And that Arcane Storm. He'll flash after YCX as WeiWei gets cleaned up on the backside. That's an ace for Weibo Gaming. Cubby, that was the most Group Nirvana decision I've seen in my life out of LNG.
I mean, I just watched Xiaohu watch Baron go to half and then Q into a different brush, and that gave away Baron. And then I watched WeiWei go over the wall and give away Soul. That's going to give away the game. I said that a positive Baron power play might be an improvement, but that was a positive Baron power play from LNG that's going to end up in defeat as Weibo Gaming look to take the series.
Weibo Gaming will keep LNG winless. They will not be ridiculed and shamed for allowing LNG to get their first series win in 97 days. It was a valiant effort, but they stumble at the end, and Weibo Gaming has won the toilet bowl.
Just how those junglers played around those last two fights, that was a good encapsulation of the toilet bowl, you know? Objectives don't matter in League of Legends. Maybe that's actually a good encapsulation as to why this was the bottom two teams. We just had our jungler ignore Baron, ignore Soul, both junglers on each teams. And that was very bad for the game on each side. Also, I mean, I just appreciate the fact, Yanni, like, I'm not crazy up. Sometimes as casters, we aren't crazy. Like me just being like, why'd they base 30 seconds before dragon spawns into now being late? It's like...
You were onto something there.
I might have been onto something there. Sadly, LNG was not. They gave Weibo control over the territory, and Weibo takes full advantage of it as they were gifted that dragon for free.
Gave them control of the territory and also just gave them control of the dragon, right? Because they just decided to go after Zika instead. Like, if you decide, hey, you know, we don't like where our health bars are at, we're going to go back, we have to play retake. All right, it sucks. It happens. You tried. Go retake that dragon. Go 50-50 smite fight after you won a couple of smite fights earlier. But you just go attack their top laner. He's Zonia's and we don't kill him instantly. We give away the soul. We give away the soul. Like, oh man. Brutal. Brutal
that's
game.
like the part. That's like this part of the Despicable Me meme where, you know, like
that's exactly
one,
what I.
two,
exactly what
three,
I was
and then
referencing.
We gave away the soul. Not good.
Man, that's crazy. Cubby, how'd you feel about the toilet bowl?
I don't think that this toilet bowl is going to have as many ramifications as the one where David Mills threw a last-second TDs that gave the Bears Gale Williams. True. But for Weibo, I will say, just recognizing some of the rumors that have been spreading on Weibo, first word of them after this season, which just ended, is that we're looking to keep Xiaohu and build around him. We don't feel like the play of Xiaohu maybe warranted that for this year.
This game it was good.
But I do want to recognize that Xiaohu is one of the greatest players of all time for the region and internationally, and is a shoe-in for the Hall of Fame, if there were a Hall of Fame in this game. And honestly, a candidate for the Hall of Legends, which, given his resume, he really is. And I would love to, I think that LPL losing Xiaohu would not be the same. So as much as the gameplay makes me scratch my head as to why it might be Weibo Xiaohu again, having him as a mid laner in this league, he has proven himself time and time again. We haven't seen him of late. I know the world streak is broken for Weibo with this result of the year as well.
Not yet. Weibo Gaming has 40 points in Worlds qualification right now.
I thought it was likely done. So they need other results this week?
It is highly likely done.
Yeah, it's done.
It is done. Highly likely.
What
Basically, they need LGD to not finish 5th, 6th, because that would give them 30 points, put them 5 points ahead of Weibo.
That's it.
If EDG, Thundertalk, and IG, any of them finish 5th, 6th, they will each be at 40 points. And I don't know.
Tiebreaker goes to result later on. Tiebreaker goes to more recent result from past memory.
Okay, so if that is the case, then they are probably cooked.
I want to go to. I know Nymera. They had a post about this.
Maybe so I don't actually. I think that it's likely dead, but there might be. Doctor Strange is out here. Dr. Xiaohu. Now, how many did you look through? I looked through. 1,200,865,236 results in the future. How many did we get to the regional qualifier? Just one. How many did we get to the worlds? Probably 0.
It's like I don't even think I'm reading Nymera's post, and I don't even know if it can mathematically happen because hold on. Let me think about this real quick. They need all of them to finish outside top 6. 4 teams are listed. They're just not going to make it. That's it for Weibo. This is mathematically impossible. It is. Because there's no way that 4 teams can all finish outside top 6 unless they don't qualify, and which is not going to be the case. Because IG and I guess NIP
has to be the 6th team.
NIP has to come in and be 6, but like even then, it's still 3 teams outside of top 6. So it's not possible. It is not possible.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay. This is why you don't do math on caskets.
No.
Who knows? Maybe there is something that we are missing.
That is what we are not seeing Weibo again. It is mathematically impossible to see Weibo again.
I can't do the math on this right now. Somebody will actually run the real numbers. I think you're probably right.
I'm 100% right. Yeah.
Well, that ego punished you in game 2, my friend.
True. Yeah. Let's go Weibo. Go pro Weibo again. But no, it can't happen. So.
Among the worst toilet bowls of all time, I don't think this was the worst one. I think that there was a lot of bad play, but. We saw Xiaohu go 7-0-5 that game.
This was not bad. This was not Rockhead Origin. It was not.
No.
Yeah.
No,
far from.
Mm-hmm. Thank God it wasn't Cubby, because we would. Oh my God.
I should have saved. I
feel bad for the other casters if it was Rockhead Origin.
That was actually the funniest thing that I pulled, because I saw XPeke support and I was like, oh yeah, he played 80 carry this split. Because remember him playing AD was one of the singular worst players that I have ever seen competing in pro. Was XPeke AD.
It was bad.
And XPeke is in my League of Legends Hall of Fame. So yeah, that no doubt. But
remember, you can be a Hall of Fame player and not be having a good end to your career.
Good example. Who's a good example of that? Name one good example of that. That might be fun.
In anything. In any sport? Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, it fits Uzi in League, I will say. But Uzi had injuries that he was dealing with. Yeah.
If it's Peyton Manning.
Yeah, but he won on the way out, so that doesn't count.
He did win on the way out, but he didn't play well.
Yeah, but he had 4 neck surgeries and had to go get stem cell research in Germany.
Which
he called at the time
100%.
a special trip for my wife, because the NFL didn't want to talk about stem cell research back then. But yeah, that is what happened.
Cubby, who do you have for player of the game and player of the series?
Player of the match?
Player of the game. Let's start baby steps. Let's start player of the game. Like give me a shot.
Elk and Elk.
Give me a shot.
Elk and Elk.
He didn't die, man. He didn't die. Give me a shot. Give me an Elk for player of the series though. I'm in.
I think Elk deserves it for this game. Like even the death he had in the mid fight, I thought.
Oh yeah.
That they won the fight off of his play. Yeah.
This is a good death. A good death.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I mean, listen. Objectively, I think it would be Elk for player of the game. But Xiaohu didn't die, man. Let the king go out with a Monaco with half of the crown, And then we can give Elk the...
you know, I will say the most promising thing about hearing that Weibo wants to build around Xiaohu again is, again, the hope that we see Xiaohu in the LPL as legendary player. Not the best year for Xiaohu, but he's not a player where we're like, it's time to hang it up. I would be down to see another year of Xiaohu for sure. I again think that the play that we saw from him, I'm a little bit surprised that Weibo wants to run it back, but speaks to what Xiaohu's done with Weibo in the past. He's gotten him to the world final. Xiaohu has always been, I think he's the greatest LPL player of all time until Knight overtakes him. And when that happens, that's up to Knight. And that might be sooner than later, given the resumes. But the fact that he had Clear Love behind them, honestly, a fun combo to see if we could have gotten the best out of Weibo with two of the greatest LPL players of all time within this team. But not in the cards for this year. Do you want to give an honorable mention to Sheer, by the way, who I thought had a decent series today?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so played pretty well.
I hope to see more Sheer in the future for LPL too, but it's going to be it for both these teams. I sadly will not get to see the Dragon again. And yeah, or the Quillen, as you said.
You'll get to see this Dragon again.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the one where they just, gave it and decided to...
What dragon? Said LNG WeiWei.
I mean, yeah, objectively, I mean, like, Sheer had a pretty good fight here. It's actually just a shame that they gave up the soul. It just resulted in a pretty easy pick up there and a pretty easy win.
With that said, Yanni, thank you to you, and thank you to everyone at home for joining us for this LPL matchup. If you tuned in to this series of LPL, you are a true fan watching the two bottom of the barrel teams go toe-to-toe. Thanks for hopefully being okay with a few more shenanigans from me and Yanni. I know there's been a lot of discussion about talking about the game or not talking about the game of late.
Yeah, we didn't even mention Tiramisu once.
I frankly find to be stupid. I love the LCK cast. Was privileged to be a part of that team at one point. And yeah, I think a lot of broadcast and entertainment. There are a lot of different ways to go about it. It's not always about the game. There's a lot more to life than League of Legends. So always fun to talk about that. You got to talk about a little bit more with you, Yanni. As your boy.
Bang!
The LPL GOAT gonna at least go out on a high. At least I'd say the current all-time GOAT for me is Xiaohu. Knight gets it soon. I think that Knight needs international titles though to get it, because Xiaohu, what he's done internationally for the LPL, he was the guy. No, first stand does not count enough. That's for sure, Yanni. But
how many first stands would it take?
I think 3 first stands would equal like being a world finalist, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Legitimately. I think 2 first stands versus world. I would rather lose in world's finals than win 2 first stands. Sincerely.
Oh, that's tough. That is really, really tough.
That is how much that tournament matters to me, like in the grand picture. Sincerely.
I'm thinking about what I would do, because I will say the fact that you have to think about it. I mean,
there's like it was 5 and 6 teams there.
Listen, and let's say what it is.
8? Yeah.
It took a while for people to start considering MSI a very serious tournament. Now it's a very serious tournament. I think we might get the same thing with first stand. I think that whoa. This is illegal. This is illegal. No. This is highly illegal.
I feel like you know what? I think that the call was put in. The call was put in. Weibo's like, we're gonna have Xiaohu again for sure. We don't know about Elk.
Hold on. Cubby, we did put Xiaohu up for consideration of player of the game in game
1. Actually, I did have him as player of the game, but I had Elk as player of the game in game 3. So I guess, yeah.
So it's like a 50-50 at that point. Maybe it's not as highly illegal as I thought. I think no, it's definitely highly as illegal as I thought.
I still feel like it was Elk. Elk was just higher impact.
Much better.
He just was higher
game
impact.
3.
Yeah.
Elk played much better in game 3 than Xiaohu played in game 1. So this is highly illegal. But congratulations to the king of the LPL getting his crown on the way out for the 2026 season, or at least we believe. At least had a very, very good game in this game, which was nice to see.
You know, Yanni, as someone that worked a seasonal job, one of my favorite jobs I had for 3 summers over my college time, worked at a summer camp where 600 plus kids would come every week, up to 4 weeks. We had 150 plus employees on the college campus that would help take care of them. It was a blast. Some summers you'd have people that said they were back for sure. They didn't come back. We missed them greatly. Some summers we had people that said I wouldn't come back, and then they ended up coming back. That was me year 3. I wasn't supposed to come back. Lined up a job that fit. Was able to make it for one last summer. You never know when people walk or when time's done. I really hope that's not the case for Xiaohu. And if this is, if the Weibo rumor is true, I think it's promising that Xiaohu is going to keep on playing. But it would be quite the bummer to see him go out like this. So really hope we're blessed with more Xiaohu in the LPL, because I think one of the more fun parts of having Knight and Cream and Shanks in the league right now.
0 votes for Elk?
Yeah, that's illegal. I can't believe that they voted for Xiaohu after how he played that Baron, by the way. I have thoughts. I have thoughts.
All right. Let's get us out of here. Let's get us out of here before you spew these thoughts on cast.
You know, I will finish my Xiaohu point. You never know when people are done or not. Legendary player. And one of the fun parts about LPL right now is that he's still in the league for when Knight, Cream, Shanks, and some of these other good mids are trying to come up. We've had splits where those guys have taken the crown from him on the way to playoffs. And beating legendary players like that, there's always a passing of the torch moment that happens in real sports, which very much is because of Father Time, which doesn't play nearly as big of an impact in this sport, but is fun that we're lucky. I mean, it's a grind to do this. We're lucky that Xiaohu's still doing it, and fun to see him go up against the best, even if this was the worst placement that I think he's ever had in his career. And I have not checked, but I'd say second to last is probably it for him. So hope we get to see more of Xiaohu, and hope we can see him more on top of his legacy when he does decide to go quits, or call it quits.
I think the biggest thing to always remember is to recognize greatness from the past and still give those players those grace, even if they're not so great right now, and appreciate the greatness that you have right now, because one day those players that we see today that we laud like Knight will eventually retire too. That being said, if you really want to appreciate some greatness, well, you're going to want to tune in to this next match. We have K-Man and Slayer on AL and Top Esports, a hella good casting duo with a hella good matchup. We'll see you on the other